In the news, 6 years ago, a woman who hit and killed a Chattanooga police officer was sentenced to 11 years at West Tennessee State Penitentiary.
And a parole board will soon decide if she walks free. Janet Hinds was drinking at a Ringgold restaurant hours before the crash that killed Officer Nicholas Gallinger. 2.5 years after the crash, a jury found Hinds guilty of drinking and driving and leaving the scene of an accident. But it could be a few days more before we find out the decision of the state's parole board.
Sierra Rucker covered the parole review hearing. Sierra?
David, Cindy, Janet Hinds was emotional during today's hearing, pleading for board members there to grant her parole after serving only 4 years for the death of Officer Nicholas Gallinger. Now, despite emotion, several people oppose her request.
I can't even imagine taking a father away from their children. I couldn't imagine taking my son away from any of his kids.
Emotions for Janet Hinds were high during Tuesday's parole review hearing as she pleaded for the state's parole board to grant her request. During this hearing, parole board member May Beavers reviewed Hinds' journey while in prison, pointing to several courses completed, including an alcoholics class and over 100 biblical courses. Beavers also asked Hinds to recall the moments of the night Officer Nicholas Gallinger was killed.
I went out to a restaurant/bar, so I didn't really see any lights at all, and I saw a sign hit my windshield. And I went home, and I found out the next day that the officer had passed, that I had hit an officer, and he passed away.
However, our previous report states during the 2021 trial, surveillance video shows Hinds having 2 22-ounce beers, 2 16-ounce beers, and a lemon drop shot, which is more than what Hinds claimed on Tuesday during her parole hearing. Beavers also asked Hinds to make her plea for parole.
This is your opportunity to tell me and the other board members why we should vote to release you from custody.
I have felt every day for the last 7 years of the taking of the life of another person at my hand. My life has been forever changed.
At the hearing, several people were there to oppose Hinds' release, including Chattanooga officer David Young, who is Officer Gallinger's supervisor in 2019, Sergeant Jeffrey Buckner, lead investigator of the case, and Andrew Coyle, representing Hamilton County's District Attorney's Office.
I'm here solely to stand united with the Chattanooga Police Department and the Gallinger family in opposition to her receiving parole.
After hearing from Hinds and those who oppose, Beavers voted no.
My vote is to decline parole, the release from custody at this time.
There are still 6 board members who need to vote. Once they do, Hinds will know her fate. And they say it takes about 7 to 10 days for members to make their individual votes. Hinds will then be notified once that decision is made. We'll be sure to provide updates once we receive them.